Hello, everyone.
Am I in the frame?
I think so. I think you're definitely in the frame. Do you want to go check?
Yeah.
Because you're in the frame. Okay. You want to know what we're talking about?
No, I don't know what we're talking about.
Today we're talking about our game, Get Closer, that we made together with our hearts and our hands, and that we are just after coming back from exhibiting because we were at EGX Rezzed this weekend. Euro Game Expo Rezzed is what that stands for. And it is a big gaming festival that happens in London every year. And there's Rezzed, which is what we showed at. And then there's the big one, which happens later in the year. But our one, I think, had like more of an indie games focus.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell people what Get Closer is?
So, well, Get Closer is a game we made together in a game jam, 2019 London.
And what's a game jam?
So a game jam is when a lot of people get together in a place and they have a weekend to make a game. So you have basically like 48 hours sort of to make a game, and people just go to the place and then they get together and they make teams and they look for like different people that has different abilities, which is amazing because it's like so much knowledge and a lot of effort and things happening
and teamwork. So like if anyone's familiar with the idea of a hackathon, it's like a kind of a gaming hackathon, and ours was in a church, and there were like the cool thing I think was that
it's not a church anymore, it's a university.
It was in front of the eyes of our Lord, and a lot of paper mache in the Hatcham Church, but what was cool was that like artists were in big demand, because I would have never gone to like a tech event like that prior to like starting programming, because I wouldn't have known that artists are, but like people were like, they had little signs on their tables like artists wanted. So anyone who's ever interested in doing a game jam and you don't have programming experience, you can go there and you can smash it, because I
have zero programming knowledge, and Clancy told me, why don't we go and do this, and I was like, I'm up for it, because why not? I mean, you know, it's a new experience. And so we had this idea of making a game about depression, because I am, I guess, depressed.
We are depressed. but that's something that we'll get to later.
But I had like very bad depression not long ago, so I thought, why don't we make a game about that? Because I was also recovering and you were helping me a lot to get better. So I thought, why don't we make a game where we teach people how to talk to someone who is depressed, how to treat them? Because I was mostly surrounded by people that didn't know what depression was. I didn't know I was depressed. And when I was feeling really, really bad, people would tell me things like, oh, don't worry, you will be okay. Or just go out for a walk, or do something that you like and you will feel better. And when you are depressed, you don't enjoy anything. You don't enjoy the things you used to. So I thought, let's make a game about depression. And you were a bit like...
I was a bit, because like there's this kind of joke, but basically we're kind of a bit limited as a game making team, because I'm a very new programmer and a very new coder. So like the things that I can make right now are pretty basic. And so I was like, okay, we can do like a text-based game. And there's a joke that like twine games or text games are either all about like gender identity, sexuality, or mental illness. So I was like, oh, I don't know. But at the same time, I thought that like, you know what, I trust your artistic vision, I trust your creative vision, and I think that like it's something that we have to just like give it a shot and see how it works. And it went pretty well, if you ask me. We ended up winning first place.
Can you please come with me and meet Big Chungus? You want me to show you now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so these are the options that we're gonna have. So it starts here, and then there's 3 options, 3 answers, 3 options, 3 options, 3 options, and then the answers. These are the different endings. So there can be an neutral ending, a good ending, or a bad ending.
That's the game jam. I think like we've just like crushed it,
Okay,
because
so
like this is the game jam spoon that we hacked together.
No, you
because
did.
I mean like I hacked together.
No, but honestly, I was the useless one using the fork, but then you used your brain.
hacked.
It's 3 to 9.
3 to 9. So we're at 3 to 9, and this is how it's going so far, and this is our son, who's very depressed, like most of us here. I think it's going well. Well, see you next time at the GDC. Aida, are you making a nest?
I am making a nest. I'm gonna sleep in it.
Baby nest. Baby nest. Don't look into Kennedy.
Do you expect it to look like shit? Sorry. Be realistic. It's gonna look fucking.
I want to take this frame home and put it in my room.
I mean, it's really cool. Look.
It's really. We definitely should keep that. That's really beautiful. We can. You can put it over my window so I can look out through a little cage hole.
Necesita estar un poco más desarrollado. Necesita más conversación. Y también me encantaría que se moviera más la rama. Porque ahora de momento es solo. En ese frame, por ejemplo, no se nada. En el resto de.
We are going to give the judges some time to go and make their decision, but all of you are amazing superheroes, and all of you have really strong muscles, and I would like
Thank you for letting me ride your horse.
So what just happened?
Listen, I don't know. I'm having a heart attack.
Okay, but not about the scooter.
No, I wasn't talking about this.
I know, but can we just, for the posterity, what just happened?
That we won out of 211 people. What?
What did we win?
This thing.
Let's go put it over here. And we got Amazon Kindle Fire tablets for our efforts.
Yeah, it was crazy because I knew the game was a great idea, the whole concept. So we made this little frog, and then I'm gonna put some images here. So it's a little frog, and it's trapped in a hole. So it fell super deep into a little hole, but the hole looks quite comfortable because it's made out of like leaves. It's like a little nest. And everything has a meaning. Like it is a little nest because when you are depressed, sometimes you feel safe in your house, in your bed, and you don't want to leave. But at the same time, you're feeling
trapped there.
Yeah, you are feeling so bad, but you feel safe. It's a very weird situation. So the frog is very, very sad and very depressed. And the game is called Get Closer because the first whole concept idea was that we're gonna put an. At first, we thought we're gonna use a projector.
Because I rented out a projector because I was like, regardless of what game we make, if we project it, it'll look cool. So before we even had an idea, I was like, we're gonna do it with a projector. But we hit technical issues with that.
Yeah, because we started to think, how are we gonna show the game in a projector? Where can we put the projector?
And I was like, I can go up to one of the upper balconies and I can just hold it over while we're projecting, which would not have worked at all.
No, because you would have dropped it.
Or sad, devastating, and true. But or I'd stand on a chair and hold it, so this isn't gonna work. But thankfully, you have a touchscreen tablet.
Yeah, so I thought, why don't we show it on my tablet, and we make a physical nest. And at the beginning, I thought, let's make a nest with 3 branches.
They were get real materials.
Yeah, let's go to a park, and I'm gonna collect all these leaves and branches, and then we make a nest. But then you said, why don't we use cardboard?
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I couldn't see it in my mind, so I was like, I'm not sure that's a good idea. But then you were like, I'm gonna try it, and then we tested, and then you see if you.
And then we can go and roam around in the park, because by the time we left on the night of the second night, I think we got out at around 2 a.m. Good. But yeah, so we did that, and then we used some of your artwork assets, and we printed it, and we made this beautiful nest, and we'll have pictures of that as well. And
you cut and so the whole idea of getting closer is because the nest is on the floor.
Yeah.
So the idea is you are walking around, and then you see this beautiful thing on the floor, like some sort of whole nest, and there's a little creature in there, so shit. Sad. So you have to bend down, you have to go on your knees to access, you must get closer to this creature, physically and then emotionally, because according to how you talk to the frog, it's gonna have a good reaction.
You can make your depression better, or you can make depression worse. So, this whole idea of like how you position yourself while we play games. There's this idea called embodiment, and it means that when you physically move your body, it helps you connect to different emotions. Like, you know, like people talk about power posing, when you stand up straight and you like put your arms on your hips, and it helps you feel more confident because you feel strong, and you're kind of like getting down on the level of someone who is having a tough time. It's kind of this whole thing of like, I need to change my perspective to understand them a bit better.
Also, it was very personal because we used so the first sketch or whatever that I wrote, you rewrote everything, made it look.
So Aida, Aida's on this. I suppose the way we divided up work is that you were kind of the concept designer. You did the initial dialogue, and you did all the artwork, and I was on the programming. And then as we developed it further, I helped kind of like flesh out some of the scripting. So we started with your original framework, and then we spread it out.
But what I wanted to say is that it's very personal because we used things that we said. So the frog is depressed, and the frog says things that I said. And
secretly, Aida is the frog, and if that like it doesn't surprise anyone who's known Aida for all of the time that they've been on the internet, that you've been on the internet, they will know that you're a frog.
I am a frog. So it's very, very personal because the answers that make the frog feel better and feel comforted are answers that you gave me. And then there's also other real answers that other people gave me and made me feel really shit.
And I think one of the tricky things about talking to someone with depression is that because like you can kind of like you be forgiven for thinking that, like, you know, you just want to cheer them up, so maybe like just like joking with them or like, you know, like giving them a bit of tough love, like, you know, like you need to get up and do something, like just like sitting here feeling sorry for yourself isn't going to help. And honestly, like that is probably not what the person wants to hear. And also, we have to admit that like it is a very subjective experience.
Yeah, it's a very personal game. As in, this is why that's why when we were in the exhibition, we met this group of psychiatrists. I will leave their Twitter in the description. And they were very interested.
Gaming the mind.
Yes, they are great, and they were very interested in the game, and obviously we were very interested in finding someone like them. Because if we want to at some point make this something
bigger,
it needs to be reviewed by professionals. Because we are not professionals.
Yeah. But that's like, I mean, like people write books and make films and make games that are just based off their subjective experiences, and your subjective experience can be relevant to other people. So it's we want to make this into a useful tool, but for the exercise and what it was, that was what we wanted to do with it. And for the Game Jam version, we wrote like 81 different branches, so you make 4 decisions, and then we didn't make any endings because it was like 5 a.m. and like we had to like wrap it all up and bring it in, so the game just ended, be like, thank you for playing. So
this was in the Game Jam.
This was the Game Jam, but then when we brought it to Rezzed, what we did was we collected up all of your choices, so at the end you could see what conversation you had with the frog, and then it gives you like a little bit of an analysis about like how that chat went.
How the options you chose, how they may affect someone that has depression.
If you went down the route that we were just mean to the frog, it's like, maybe you want to play again because like not so good, not so nice.
And it was very interesting because some people, there's so many like lovely human beings, but they just don't have any mental health knowledge. So there was this girl, she was so cute, so sweet, and then she came and she played, and she was like, oh no, and she was like, I need to play again because the first time, and then she came talk to me and she said, the first time I played, I said cheer up because I thought
that's the frog to cheer up.
Yeah,
but it's like, wait a second, that's not, but I think like what each conversation decision we made, we wanted to talk about a different aspect of how depression can make you feel. And in that first decision, what you want to do is that you want to make the person who is feeling depressed, you want them to understand that you know that it's just not like this. It's not that they're suddenly just like in a bad mood. It's that there's something deeper and bigger going on with them.
Yeah. Also, we thought maybe at the end of the conversation we could put like actual links. To I don't know,
support.
So that call thing that you
Smartens?
Maybe, I don't know.
Smartens is the suicide one. Smartens like you're pretty far. There is in London, there's improved access to mental health services, and someone actually, one of our previous videos has commented the link to them, and we'll put them in the description below, because if you live here in London, I'm not sure if it's in the rest of the UK, that they are putting in place support services that you can kind of immediately access some mental health support, which is because that's always the thing. It's that we always recommend like go speak to a therapist, but it's never just as easy as making the decision to go, because there's a lot of factors in place in terms of what support you have available to you, like how much money is it going to cost you, how quickly can you get the help. So it is important, and start making those moves as soon as you can, but acknowledging that you have to kind of like brace yourself, because it'll be a little bit of a journey to get there, depending on what your situation is like in terms of money and access.
Yeah. Also, being in the exhibition was a great experience.
It was so lovely, because I was quite worried, because like there was PlayStation there was Xbox, Nintendo, and there were like all these big big noisy like arcade platformers upstairs, and then like us down, like we were hosted by Rock Paper Shotgun. We were like a PC gaming platform, and we were like in the indie game section, and like they were like, we had like a lot of teenage boys coming through, we had like a lot of little kids, and I was wondering like how this audience, who's probably going to be expecting to play something fun and quick, is going to make of our like very sweet and reading based game, and we had such a lovely reception to it.
Also, I think it was very interesting to see physical people coming and
people as opposed to spiritual people.
No, as opposed to having
liquid
it
people
to have it on a platform as in online.
Yeah,
because you could see who would come to play and
who would be like intrigued, because we when we brought it to Rezzed, we developed the set even more. We added some beautiful ceramic mushrooms, and we got some lovely fairy lights, and the room that we were in was quite dark, so you had this kind of little glowing swamp that the frog was in.
And we saw like I told you, like 90% of the people that would approach this game, they were like either female or very alternative looking people, like with different color hair, or and it was amazing to see them play. Also, we were in alternative controllers.
Yes. So with our game, it's a touchscreen game, and it has this kind of physical housing that it's in. So I mean, it is still a touchscreen, but I think we like sneaked it in because we built this this like housing that is an important part of the actual experience.
Yeah, and it was so cool to see, because what you said, like we got these mushrooms, and one of the guys came and he looked at the game.
He started tapping the mushrooms because he thought that was part of... I mean, we could incorporate that. We could like make those capacitive touch, and then when someone wants to choose option 1, 2 or 3, they have to touch each of the different mushrooms.
Yeah, and we had like it was very interesting because we got new ideas from seeing user experience basically, for analyzing how people would react, because it's called Get Closer, and the main screen says Get Closer, so people would physically get
lean in, because they thought it was an instruction. We met a lovely boy called Harry, and he's mentioned to us that the opening animation on the title screen looks like a breathing exercise, like from using a mindfulness
which was interesting, because it wasn't
we didn't think of that, but it was lovely to see that someone else saw that in the work, and that's a great idea, and that's something that we want to take forward with making our next version of it, because our goal is now that we want to make it into a bigger experience.
Also, our friend Tim, because it has lights, he said the lights could change color according to what the frog is feeling, which was a great idea. Also, what I was gonna say is that because it says Get Closer, people would physically get closer, and then it would be great to have a sensor, and when you get close enough to the screen, the frog appears or something.
I can definitely, so like we're also a little not limited, but we are based on what I know how to do in programming, and at the moment I can change the lights, and I can do all that stuff, but I just don't know how to link it to the screen yet. But this is all a journey, and I'm learning by doing. And another interesting aspect of showing the work is that we made it for the game jam, and we made it very specifically for like a demo, and now we like unleashed it to the public. And there was like screen sizing issues, and there was like type that was very small. So as we go forward and develop it, we also want to make it just like feel a little bit better and tighten up. Like one thing that I really wanted to do was make kind of the branches of the conversation into kind of clearer themes, so that there's one kind of conversation branch, and it's talking about like taking care of your physical health and how that will impact your mental health, and then one of them talking about like going after professional help, and then another one about support networks, putting a plan in place for when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling strong. So putting your crisis plan, putting your list of people you can turn to together when you are feeling okay. And you can do that right now. If you're watching this and you feel great, like go and just like think to yourself, like who would you depend on if you were having a tough time?
And that's why it's very important to have professionals check everything, like whatever script we are gonna write, we want them to review it and to tell us if it makes sense or to give us any sort of like that, what you just mentioned. I'd never thought of that.
Yeah.
And that's great. So yeah, we want to develop it and make it into something that makes more sense and that it can actually be helpful.
Yeah. I think at the moment it's still really cool, and we had some lovely conversations with people, and I'm so glad we did it. It's a lot of work getting ready for something like this.
And it was very tiring.
It was very tiring because if the game was a bit better engineered this is on my part, we could have just left it off and let it run on its own. But like people we had it on we showed the game on the tablets that we won at the game jam, and people kept like exiting and like going into like Amazon and stuff like that, and I had to like go over every now and again and like reset it. And so I was there 3 days. I was there 2 of the days, and one day you just had to like, the days that you were there, you just had to sit beside it and just chaperone it to make sure people didn't.
Yeah, and also because some people would just tap twice and then leave because they were not interested. Some other people would be like, oh, this is so beautiful, and then they would want to talk about it and ask questions and get a card or whatever. And
which I think is really cool that it doesn't have to be a game that everyone loves. That it's cool that it finds its audience and that it finds the couple of people who care about it, and who, like, some people love text games and some people love action games, and
I love platform. I love platform games and horror games.
And so like there's also you met the woman who made Frog Detective.
Oh yeah.
Which was very good, because we made a frog game and you made a frog game. How about that? But yeah, and Frog Detective is also a text-based game. It's a little bit more dynamic because there's
and
motion.
it's very beautifully done with 3D and everything.
The eyes,
so cute.
So that was all good. And yeah, we were in a field with a bunch of other alternative controllers. We had Bot Party, which is a game that you play by like slapping or touching or holding hands or kissing the other players, and it makes connections based on like skin conductivity. And then our friend Ben had a game called Beatboxer, which you play. It's like Dance Dance Revolution, but you play it by punching. And then there was Midi the Cat, which was like a cat game played on a keyboard. I think that was everyone in Rock Paper Shotgun.
And the game with the sheep.
Oh, Foxfragger. Foxfragger was Duncan and Cat as well. Yeah. That was their game too. But yeah, it was amazing. I'm so glad we did it. We showed another game as well called Human Vacation, but maybe we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, we will make another video to talk about that one.
That's where the name of the channel comes from.
It's true.
They said the name of the show. So yeah, that is everything. I think so.
Yeah.
The sun has gone down while this is happening, so I don't know what kind of lighting we're going to have.
There's probably, at the beginning it was very bright and now it's a bit darker.
Now we've descended into darkness. Much like the theme of the game.
No. Yeah, so I don't know. Overall, it was a great experience, and we are going to leave the link for the game.
Yes.
In the
Please be kind. Like there's like still some stuff that's like fucked up with it, but that's okay. We're fixing it. It is a work in progress. The artwork is beautiful. And we will work out the bugs. And I mean, if you find a bug, just leave a comment below the game, and our development team will get to it.
Yeah, it would be great if you can like play and leave a comment. Giving your thoughts or any ideas or any suggestions, whatever. But yeah, it's very small, but it's
going to do big things.
It's in development, so yeah. Thank you very much for
Thank you for watching our show, and thank you to everyone who came and played our game at Rezzed, and who spent some time with the frog and this frog and me.
By the way, do you like my eyebrow?
I mean, I like it a lot, but I just find it quite entertaining that it's not in the traditional notch area. Because usually the notches...
Because I dyed my eyebrows.
I know, your eyebrows have a lot going on. Your eyebrows have a lot to say for themselves. More so than a lot of... I know where this is going.
What? No. Why? My dog.
Oh, you gotta do it like a 1950s date. So we're like here watching the movie.
The movie's there. Mm-hmm. Are you watching it there?
Oh, they think he's dead, but he's not dead. Oh no! My chaperone!
What's the chaperone?
A chaperone is the person who like sits in the back seat and be like, no touching! No touching! No touching! Because, you know, like it's the 1950s. We're lesbians, so that's like a big
Oh my
deal.
God,
I know.
Yes, we're going to prison now. Okay, see you after prison. Guys.
Bye. You after baby prison. Baby prison. Prison for babies.
Yes.
The baddest babies. Too bad babies.